Shalom, shalom. Anak Nawaha Bar Sha'Allah, we the Hebrew Israelites, coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and poverty of Shemal Shots, preach so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call her Layim La, Yahweh,
Yeah.
Bahashem, Awashah, Bahashem,
Shabbat.
Rakakodash. A double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone that taught us truth and rule well. And much respect to you, brothers out there, Christians, truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right. So we just getting into current events. You got this guy, Ronald Dalton. He basically a Jake that knows that he's an Israelite. He's pushing mass confusion. And we're gonna start with Galatians 4:26 because he insinuated that the land of Canaan can't be the land of Israel. Two reasons that he presented was that it was too small to hold all the Israelites. All right, and another reason was that the Lord, being that the Israelites was His chosen people, He would choose a better land. All right, so we're gonna start with Galatians 4:26.
God. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, and verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above and free, which is the mother of us all.
So again, he insinuated that we all came from Africa, and we know that civilization started in Gan Aidan, which is the Garden of Eden. All right, and it starts from Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem, um, over there by the Fertile Crescent. All right, and that's where everybody derived from, all the nations. I'm gonna get
And real quick, I'm gonna get that real quick. So, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse. I'll read up a little bit. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and the water the whole face of the ground. And it said, and Yahweh formed man from the dust of the ground, speaking on Adamites, and breath into his nostrils and life, and the man became a living spirit. And that's what the oral law. And it said, and Yahweh thy power planted a garden eastward, and that's what you call today your so-called Middle East. And they said eastward in Eden. And when you look into that word Eden, it's like the brother said, man, it's how you said it again? Aradon. Adan, yeah, Khan, Adan, which means paradise. And that's basically speaking on Jerusalem, Israel. And it said, and there he put a new man who he had formed, man. And the mainly thing I want to get out that precept is that word Eden, which means paradise, Adan, which is talking about the land of Jerusalem. And that's the land that the Lord have always chosen. Real quick, can you give me second Esdras 5 and I think like 24, 25?
Con. Said second Ezra 5:25.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start from verse 24. It says,
yeah, it's 24. Con.
Verse 23 says, and said, O Lord, that bears rule of every wood of the earth and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee one only vine, and of all lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all
that one pit represent the land of Eden, which is represent the land of Israel, which is Jerusalem. That's the land that's speaking on here in Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. That he said, the Lord thy power planted a garden eastward in Eden, that paradise. That's where it started. That's why the brother brought out Galatians 4:26. That's why I said Jerusalem is the mother of us all, man. And that's speaking on right here in this precept in Genesis.
Yep. And I also want to get let's see, Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16, because he also was saying that he basically he was helping aid to push the truth. All right, and he basically was telling, it's a cool thing to tell Jake that he's an Israelite, but it's not the whole role in totality.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
This is say what?
I said that's right, brother. You're right.
It's Isaiah 34:16. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail." Talking about the prophecies, it says, "None shall want her mate." So all these different books, like the books of the dead, the Quran, and whatever books people subscribe to, they can't amount to the scriptures, because the scriptures
the book of Josephus, all them books.
Yep. That the scriptures goes into prophecy. It says, "From a mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them." So the spirit, being the word, is what gathers the elect. It's not coming from a movie. You see. Also, want to get Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, go unto the house of Israel." So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. All right, and that's the roll being the scriptures. You see that the Lord didn't say take part of the roll, and that's essentially what um, Ronald Dalton is doing. You see, he's telling everybody that they're Israelites, not giving them the scriptures in totality. You know.
That's right. Get the one in Revelation 2. I think it's Revelation 10 and 9. Cause like you said, yeah, you telling Jake here Israelite, but it's deeper than that, man. It's very deeper than that. Cause you got to eat, like the brother said, you gotta eat the whole roll. You got to get the full understanding of the scriptures, man. You gotta know the whole breakdown. You just can't go out there all willy nilly. Cause at the end of the day, he's leading Jake astray. You got Jake wanting to fly back to Africa and shit, but at the end of the day, the prophecies don't talk about Africa. The prophecies talk about the land of Israel, man. All the heavy key prophecies, man. Even when you go into the book of Genesis, the second chapter, when it starts speaking on the rivers and basically the four bodies of water that broke up, which basically talking about the Jordan River and all the the Euphrates River. That Euphrates River is a key point of prophecy, man. And that has nothing to do with Africa, man. Euphrates River has a key point of prophecy when you read in Revelation, in the book of Revelation, how the Lord said He's going to dry up the Euphrates River, and that's taking place now. He said, "I'm gonna dry up the Euphrates River to make a path for the kings of the east," and that's what you see, man. And the kings of the east represent China and Russia, and they already doing drills within that part of the landmass going through the river, man. That's prophecy, man. So what the hell is this nigga talking about? Well, Africa has nothing to do with that, man.
I got that for you, bro.
Kind.
It's Revelation chapter 10 and verse 9. It says, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter.
It should make thy belly bitter, and that bitter is catching the hell, the different adversities, man, the trials and tribulations, man. It said it should make thy belly bitter, man. Going through it, man. Brothers catching L's all the time, man. But like we said, we turn these L's into lessons, man. That's what makes the story bitter. Just like Yahweh Shai, the scriptures say, "What the servant is not greater than the master." Yahweh Shai, hey, he knew he was getting the kingdom, but hey, he had to get a piece of that bitter too. He had to put the whole nation upon his back, man. You keep going.
Uh, it says, Go and take the little book which is flock. Go and take the little book which is open or flock. Let me go back to verse 9. It says, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey.
It shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey, man. Understanding the prophecies, man. Understanding the breakdowns. Understand what's really about to take place here in Babylon the Great. It shall make thy belly sweet. Understand the kingdom of heaven is meant for you. That's making it thy belly sweet, man. But keep going.
And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
And my belly was bitter, man, because you started to catch the L. You started to catch the adversities, man. It's part of the trial tribulation. That's why you go into Peter's. It said, man, it said, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which shall try you, man. So you got to understand that's part of the walk, man. And part of the walk is telling your people the truth under the scriptures and whether they want to hear it forbear. That's part of the walk, man. Not telling them the sweet things. Because we understand that's the children of Israel. They love to hear the sweet things of the Bible, man. They love to hear the good news. They don't want to hear the bitter and the things and the calamities that have to do with the Bible. But when you go into the book of, I think it's Ezekiel, it speaks on this book is full of limitations, woes, and calamities, man. Roughly paraphrased, I think it's mornings. But this Bible, our book, is not filled with all this happy-go-lucky shit, man. It has, yes, it has its moments and its key points. It was mainly full of the transgressions and of the nation of Israel. You can sum it all up. You can sum it all up. The what took place with the nation of Israel when you read the book of Judges, man. We do good. The Lord sent us a judge. Then, as like it says, a judge died. We start going off. We start to slowly start to go off, man. And that's why the Lord sent forth the ultimate judge, was Yahweh Shai, and He's gonna judge forever, and He's gonna put the laws on our inward part. But he's not telling Jake that, man. He's telling Jake to go back to damn Africa, which that has nothing to do with Bible prophecy, man. That has nothing to do with the return of Yahweh Shai, man.
Then going into what you mentioned, bro. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Rise ye and depart." It's not talking about uh, leaving Babylon and then going to Africa. It's talking about spiritually. It says, "Arise ye and depart. This is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword of destruction." You see, so you gotta repent and arise and depart in the spirit. You know, change your ways. All right.
That's right. You gotta separate yourself from this world, man. And it's not a physical separation. It's more spiritual than anything, man. It's more letting go of the ways of the world. That's why you go in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, is talking about the spirit versus the flesh, man. That's what that concept is about, man. You have to let go of the ways of America and start to get in tune with the spirit of the prophecies, man. Which is that's lining up with Howard Shot, man. And that's how you know this nigga is full of shit. Go to do me a favor. Go to Ezekiel 36. Start at 1, cause that's Bible prophecy right now with them people occupying our land. He's not. That's Bible prophecy, man. That's not talking about Africa, man. It's talking about the land of Israel, man.
It says Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 1. It says, "Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, because the enemy hath said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession."
And ain't that happening now, man? These 1948ers, they over in our land right now. It said, because the enemy have said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in the possession. That's taking place in the land of Israel. That's not taking place in Africa. Ain't nobody rushing over there to go over to Africa, man. Ain't nobody talking about no damn Africa. That's talking about in the land of Israel, man. And you see that with them gutter rats, man. Keep going.
Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim shall power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people.
Man. It said, therefore prophesy, saying the Lord power, because that made you desolate and swallow you up on every side, man. We have been swallowed up on every side. We have been dispersed to the four corners of the earth, man. So what the hell is he talking about going back to Africa for, man? We have been dispersed amongst them Hamites. We have been dispersed amongst the Moabites in the Asian Minor, all them various places over there in the old land and around and over here on the Western Hemisphere, man. We have been dispersed, man. And the Lord said, well, he's going to bring us back out of the land of the north and take us back home in the land of Israel, man. Especially when you're reading the book of Micah, the 4th chapter. That's not talking about no damn Africa, man. That's talking about Israel. That's talking about Jerusalem. It's talking about Zion. It's not talking about Africa, man.
I got precept. This is Rock 24 and 6. It says, in the waves of the sea and in all the earth, and in every people and every nation, I got a possession. So basically, the Lord got people in every nation. You see, you even have some of those that look like the other nations, are because we was dispersed, and we wasn't just dispersed in the land of Africa, you know. But
hold on, I got one for you. This is Isaiah 11 and Isaiah 11 and 11, and it said, and it shall come to pass. Give me a second, bro. I gotta get my charger. Get Isaiah 11 and 11 and read it real quick. I'm gonna go get my charger for this laptop.
It says, Isaiah, also Yeshaya chapter 11 and verse 11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Ayalam, from Shinar, from Moth, and from the islands of the sea. All right, the Lord's going to recover his remnant, being the elect. All right, 1,001 third. was going to be going to entail the so-called Americans, West Indian Haitians, and those that are Israelite foreigners. We were scattered as a people, you know. Now I want to go to
I'm back, bro. Salakia for that. Can you read that again for me?
I got. This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Ayalam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea."
Because that's all the places that will disperse amongst the nations, especially when you go in the book of Ezekiel 36 and 19, man. It goes into that disperse, the diaspora. That goes into how the Lord scattered us amongst all these heathen nations, man. And that showed you right there. And then as you go into Isaiah 11:11, you can line that up with Acts the 2nd chapter, man. Because it tells you all of Jerusalem came for the Pentecost, and they were speaking from all the nations from under heaven, man. And it wasn't talking about just damn Africa, man. It was talking about all the nations we have been driven from, man. Yes, we was in Africa. Yes, we was in Africa for a long time, but why did we flee to Africa? From Roman persecution, man. 70 AD. We fled. That's when we fled to Africa to blend in, man. But nah, our home is Jerusalem, man. We just read that in the book of Galatians, the 4th chapter. We just read that in the book of Genesis, the 2nd chapter. We just read in the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, how somebody else is occupying our land, which is lining up with the Bible prophecy, man. That has nothing to do with the land of Ham, man. Which is I can't think of the top of my head what's the name of, what is it called?
Talking about Ham's land?
Yeah, it start with in Hebrew. What is this? I can't. Top of my head.
You want me to go to verse 12 though?
Yeah, keep going.
It says, "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth."
Exactly, man. And that's what you're seeing. He said to gather the dispersed of Judah, diaspora. Dispersed means to be scattered. And from Judah, from the four corners of the earth, we was cast off as a nation to the four corners of the earth for our rebellion against the Lord, man. We was scattered, man. That's Bible prophecy, man. That didn't happen to nobody else but the nation of Israel, man. It didn't happen to nobody else, and it's not talking about the land of Africa, man. Why would we be why would we be called Israelites? Jake, so goddamn simple, man. That sums it. Why are we called Israelites then?
Exactly. I wanna that was it on the Isaiah?
Kind. Can
you grab 1 Kings 4:21?
Kind. Give me a second, bro. This thing. Let's do something.
I'm gonna get this Genesis.
Kind. I'm trying to get this thing to load back up.
This is Genesis chapter 15 and verse 18. It says, in the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, who his name was changed to Abraham, saying unto thy, have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. And that river of Egypt, it was called Gahan, which is the Nile. It would be Gayakwan in the Hebrew. So it was from that region to the Euphrates, which is the Nahar Parat, the river Euphrates. But his argument was that the land of not Egypt, but the land of Israel was too small to house all the Israelites. All right, but it wasn't just we wasn't just in the land of Israel. We was given from the Nile on to the right, and then over to the Euphrates. So we had all that big area over there. It wasn't just specifically in Israel. That Jerusalem was the hub and the headquarters. All right.
That's right.
And, you did you grab Kings?
Yeah, I'm about to get it, bro. Give me a second. While you speaking on that, grab Joshua, the 14th chapter. Esau fucking with my lap. There, here we go. Let me click back in.
Joshua chapter 14. Start from verse 1.
Yep.
It says, "These are the countries which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan."
And look, there it go right there, ain't it? Don't it say that?
Yep.
Drop the book. It say that right there, man. Keep going.
Which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for the inheritance to them.
To the inheritance to them, and when you go into that, especially in the book of Deuteronomy 7th chapter, it speaks how the Lord was driving them out of that land for them Hamites, all the abominations they was doing. The Lord was gradually getting them out of that land, man, so he can prepare us to get in that land. Keep going.
Verse 2. By lot was their inheritance as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses for the non-tribes and for the half-tribes. For Moses had given the inheritance of 2 tribes and a half-tribe on the other side Jordan, but unto the Levites he gave none inheritance among them. For the children of
that basically was the point that I wanted to get, how the Lord was giving that land over to the inheritance for the nation of Israel, man. That land of Canaan. And if you even go down in it speaks on parts of Egypt as well, man. Showing you, like the brother Yawam said, that part of that land with Palestine and part of that land even unto Egypt, that was Jerusalem. That was Israel. Esau got people fooled thinking that map that he has is, oh, that's Egypt. No, not all that was occupied by them. Some of that land was took over by the Israelites, by us as a nation, according to Bible prophecy. And yes, they gradually started to take that land back throughout time, where it's been dispersed amongst the nations. But when you look into that landmass, a lot of that landmass was part of Israel as well, man. But they don't like to speak on that, man. You wanted that first? What you want? 1 Kings 24?
21.
You said 21 and what?
4 and 21.
1 Kings 4 and 21. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 21. It says, "And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines, unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life."
That was it.
You want to keep going?
They say something about Euphrates in there.
Let me look up. Let me go. No, I don't see that. Let me see something.
Okay. But basically,
I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna read it again for you. And it said, it said, "And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms in the river unto the land of Philistines and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all days of their life."
So the river that it was referring to said from the river. That river was the Euphrates, and then it said to the Nile, or to Egypt. That could have the border where the kingdom was cut off, because he ruled, going back to Genesis 15 and 18. He ruled from the border of Egypt all the way to the Euphrates. And so it was a vast area. It wasn't like we was just, like you said, but we wasn't just in the land of Israel. We had Jerusalem, and it spread out from there. You know, basically in the region. That's where the Fertile Crescent started, from Jerusalem, but basically in that general area.
Yeah, because when you look into that landmass and you look into that map, the water of Jordan that river of Jordan was water in the Garden of Eden, man. And that river of Jordan is located where? In Israel, man. In Israel. It's not over there in Africa. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't line up with what the Bible says, man. On precept upon precept, thou should get understanding. As the brother read in Isaiah 34 and 16, you cannot make another book. So this guy's adding and taking away from the scriptures, man. You adding away from the prophecies, man.
I gotta appreciate that, bro.
Come on.
Because actually, I want to go into the point where I actually get this first. This is second Isaiah, also Ezra chapter 7 and verse 10. It says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. All right, so basically for Israel's sake, that's the Lord's people. You see, so the world was made for our sake. So Jerusalem again, that's going to be the headquarters, but the whole world is ours. You know.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point. But could you grab second? Well, we already got that one. Genesis 2:8 to verse 10, and I got the Sirach.
Con, you want me to bring that back out?
Yeah. Oh, you already got it.
Yeah, man. We brought Genesis 2:8. Yeah, we brought that out. We can bring it back out, bro. Don't matter.
Yeah.
Con, this is Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And the Lord thy power planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man who he had formed. Let me keep going. Con, and it said, out of the ground made Yahweh thy power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and then the tree of knowledge of good of evil. And it says, verse 10, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads.
So that river is referring to Jordan, Yarden. All right, it said four heads. The first head, it listed first head, right?
Not yet. You want to go down? It said, in the name of the first is Pison, that is which compasseth the whole land of I always mess this up, Halabi, where there is a gold, Halabi. I always mess that up. And it says, and the gold of that land is good. There is Berethium and what's that? Oxen stone.
So that first one, it said Pison. It's Payeshwan, and that's referring to the Red Sea. It said four heads. A lot of times, like Christians, they like to say that it was four rivers, but it said four heads. So the River Jordan, it goes down into the Red Sea. And that's what Pison is. All right, then the second.
Because the four heads is representing the four major bodies of water.
Yeah.
And it says, verse 13, and it came when the second river is Galan, the same is compassed the whole land of Ethiopia.
So yeah, you don't got to go all the way into it, but it's gonna list four rivers. The first one being Payeshwan, the Red Sea. The second one with the Tigris, which is so like, can you get it? It say Hiddekel, or like in the Hebrew it will be.
Yeah, but that's verse 14. It said, in the name of the third river is Hiddekel, which is, like you said, the Tigris River. Yep. That which is goes towards the east of Syria, and the fourth river is Euphrates.
Yep, Nahar Parah. All right, and the Gihon, that's the Nile River. But basically, I wanted to get that point because it's a lot of water in that area, so it made the soil very rich. So he was saying like, wouldn't the Lord give his people better land? I mean, what better land can you get than that? Like, that's the best land you can get. That's why I refer to it as the Fertile Crescent. I got some information on it. It says the Fertile Crescent, which started at Jerusalem, was known as the cradle of civilization, where they had like technological advances, agriculture, and irrigation. And it was known it was known as the Fertile Crescent because the soil was very rich and it was fertile. All right, but nevertheless, it started in Jerusalem, and that was the Promised Land, which
Mm-hmm.
was previously referred to as the land of Canaan.
Kind. Hey, as a real quick precept, because when you go into that, because that land is called also as what? Flowing with milk and honey, right? This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 8. And I came down and to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, to bring them up out of the land unto the good land in a large, and it says in a large, right? Unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perites and the Hit and what is that? Hirites and the Jabarites. Come on, man. The Lord bless us with that land, man, flowing with milk and honey, man. And a lot of these heathen was occupying that land at the time. But mainly these Canaanites, man. The Lord had it where these Canaanites started to go down because all the abominations that was taking place in that land. And because he knew like the brother said, that land is the Lord's favorite pit. That's the Lord's favorite pit, man. Where all things is possible in that land, far as like the brother said, advanced technology. The Lord has it. That's a special place for the Israelites, man. And that's why the Lord set it up that way, man. So that guy is going to hell off, man, talking about going back to damn Africa, man. We fled to Africa for Roman persecution, man. We didn't go there just to be dwelling there. We always fled there to dwell amongst some heathen to hide ourselves, man. Not to be just sitting there trying to occupy. Nah, that wasn't our land.
I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab this Genesis again for truth's sake, because I kind of put them out of order. But this is Genesis chapter 2 and and verse 11, because it says the first one was Python as Pyeshwan. All right, and that was the
Red
second one
Sea.
was yep. The second one was Gahan, which is the Nile River, and it will be Slop. Let me see.
You said it right.
Khan, Gayakwan, and then the third one was Hadakel, and that would be uh, Khatkwal, all right, which was the Tigris, and the last one was the Euphrates, Nahar Parat. All right, but yeah,
right.
that land was pretty much that's the best land you can get, you know. So he was insinuating that Africa might be the land, but no, it's the land of Jerusalem and all the surrounding areas.
Yeah. Because like you said, even with like we said, the river Euphrates, all that lines up with the Bible prophecies of speaking about the land of Israel and the time we get the return of Yahweh Shai. It's not talking about over there in Africa, man. It's not talking about no Hamitic nations concerning prophecy, man. As far as the return of the Lord, it's talking about key points. The drying up of the river Euphrates. That's heavy point of prophecy, man. As a brother we just read in the book of Genesis, that's why the Lord kept that name there and kept it the spirit on his heathen not to change that name, because that was a key part of prophecy that had to take place, man. Drying up the river Euphrates and making a way for the kings of the east. That's what you're seeing taking place right now, because that's lining up with World War III, man. So that's a heavy point, man. He's going the hell off talking about going and fleeing back to Africa, man. That's not part of Bible prophecy, man. We're not fleeing and going back to Africa. We're fleeing out of the mindset of America and getting locked in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, because we're trying to get redeemed up out of this place, man. Through the so-called UFO, which are the chariots, man. Which are the chariots, which he's going off on that too, man. But that's like the brother said, that's a video for another day. Brother's been going in on this guy because he don't know what the hell he's talking about, man. Now I think he's set up, man. You can clearly see that he's set up, like the brother, like the apostle. Yeah, control opposition. Like you can tell, he don't talking to the camera. He not breaking down no precepts. He just going off his own emotions, man. Which is that's clearly contrary what the scriptures say. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's how I get understanding, man. And also with the history, man. See how we was going into a little bit of the history of the land masses and things like that. You got to do that, man. Because if not, you're gonna lead Jake astray, and Jake is gonna be confused. Jake following after that guy, they're in a confused state. But at the end of the day, that's the Lord sending them a strong delusion that they may believe a lie. Because somebody gotta lead the 2/3 to destruction, and the niggas like that are set up for that, man. And we only here for the elect of the nation of Israel and the 1/3, man. We're not here for nothing else, man.
Con,
man.
yes,
Hey, you got anything else, bro?
that was it.
Man. You want to close it out? You want me to close it out?
You got it.
Man, but apparatus our Lord willing, the lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Just like the brother said, we just wanted to clear up some errors with this guy, just so it won't bring some mass confusion. But hey, man's goings of the Lord, man. So we just pray this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. And want to close it out by saying, Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honor to our apostle elders, great millstone of well. Peace and salutation, all the Aki and pushing this truth and our righteousness and sincerity. Kram Yasharala and Abba Babal.
Baba Ball.
Kram Yasharala.